Namaskaram. Let us continue with the Mahabharata story. We had finished the public display of the skills learned by the Kaurava princes. We dealt with the episode of Ekalavya along with it. Also, the Guru Dakshina to Drona, which was catching Drupada alive and presenting him present to Drona. We had mentioned the enmity between the two, which led to Drona asking for this strange Guru Dakshina. Now, before we continue, there was one incident which has a bearing in the Mahabharata story, which was when Gandhari was brought as the bride for Dhritarashtra. Because Dhritarashtra was blind and because Gandhari decided to blindfold her eyes, Gandhari's brother Shakuni was sent along with her. And after reaching Hastinapura, Shakuni remained there, he never left. And he turned out to be a great influence on Duryodhana and hence someone who had substantial influence on the turn of events. Let us also list some of the landmarks of the story so far. One was Bhishma not marrying. That had a bearing because had he married, these future conflicts hopefully would not arise. Then also that Dhritarashtra was born blind. Because of that, Pandu got the chance to be king, and that led to the enmity of Duryodhana to Pandavas. And also that Karna, who was the eldest, who would have become the eldest of the Pandavas, was cast away and he ended up as the adopted son of Adhiratha, the charioteer of the Kaurava throne, Kaurava palace. Because if Karna remained with Pandavas, things would have turned different, which will the incident about Karna's dedication to Duryodhana, Karna's gratitude to Duryodhana, that incident wouldn't have happened. Duryodhana's the heinous crimes which he already had committed and which he would continue doing has a great bearing on the Mahabharata story. There is one story which we haven't gone fully into. That was the senior princess from Kashi by name Amba. She pleaded with Bhishma to let her off because she had chosen Salva to be her lover. And Bhishma let her off, and which has again a bearing, but that story is left half finished. We'll continue with that later. Now let us continue with the main story. After the Pandava princess came from the forest, after 1 year, Dhritarashtra made Yudhishthira the crown prince. He was the son of Pandu, who was the king, and he was the eldest of all the Kauravas and Pandavas together. So there was no way Dhritarashtra could refuse to do that. And he sensed the feeling of people that Yudhishthira has already become very popular with the people. So he installed him as the heir apparent. Meanwhile, Bhima and also Duryodhana, they approached Balabhadra, Krishna's elder brother, to teach them more techniques of mace fighting, Gada Yuddham. And Balarama gladly did that. And they were almost matched, the two, except that Bhima was much stronger and Duryodhana was much more tactful, much more easy with his movements. Then after Yudhishthira was made heir apparent, Arjuna and Bhima, they went on what is called a Digvijaya, which is a victory parade. That is a traditional move by ancient kings, especially emperors, who re-establish their empire. They go over all neighboring kingdoms, friends and foes alike. With the friendly kingdom, they re-establish the relationship. With enemies, either the enemy surrenders without a fight, and they give a tribute, a tax in recognition of that, or a fight ensues and the victor gets the benefit. If the invading king wins, then the host king becomes a vassal, a subject of the invader, and pays tribute. And Arjuna went in all the 4 directions with the help of Bhima and re-established the sovereignty of Hastinapura. There was no one who could withstand Arjuna's onslaught. And he came back with enormous wealth, which he received as tribute on hundreds of mules and donkeys and horses. Dhritarashtra grew envious of the Pandavas' success stories. Day by day, year by year, they were getting stronger, more popular, and more powerful. And though outwardly Dhritarashtra didn't show, inwardly he resented that. He resented that it is not his son who is in that place. So he was always thinking and thinking what is the escape, how he can put a stop to it. And one day he called a minister by name Kanika. He was known to be very shrewd, very cunning, very scheming. He was a Brahmin minister. Brahmin minister in the sense that it was his not fighting skills which mattered, but his wisdom, his plans. And Dhritarashtra explained frankly his anxiety, his concerns, and asked for Kanika's opinion. Kanika spoke plainly, saying that for a king there is nothing like what is it called? Doing what is right and what is wrong. The only matter is success. The only matter is survival. If there is an enemy, then he must make sure the enemy is annihilated by any means, by bribing, by threatening, by attacking, or plotting to destroy him, whatever way. That was, in a nutshell, his advice. He gave the example of a jackal who plotted to kill a lion with the help of his friends. And it was the jackal's plans alone which materialized. And with the help of his friends, a mouse which ate the lion's sleeping. When the lion was sleeping, the mouse came and bit the legs, and it hurt him terribly, so that he was handicapped. And then the tiger came and killed the lion because the lion was not up on his feet. And instead of sharing the meat as agreed, with his clever manipulations, all of them were sent away, and the jackal enjoyed the meat all by himself. That was a story to convey the meaning that it is clever planning which matters most. And after listening to Kanika, Namaskaram, we will continue with the story tomorrow. കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്നല്ലേ?